Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Today's reading is going to be, what do they need from you? You have got three choices as usual. You've got the 5 of clubs, the 5 of diamonds, and the 2 of clubs. I think my tone was a little bit wrong there. And the 2 of clubs, not the 2 of expectation clubs. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Frog.
Okay, pile number 1. I'm having trouble fitting these in. I assumed I was just going to put them all down, but I just can't seem to fit it all in without it looking like a complete mess on the table, which I may be a little bit more happy with that than most people, but let's just go with it. There's a feeling here, and I'm going to go with my feelings first as I'm pulling the cards out, because you get a feeling, and sometimes it goes as more cards come out and sometimes it stays. What I'll do is I'll tell you my feeling, and then I will go into the cards bit by bit. Things may change. And remember, this is a group reading, and I'm going to try and be more specific for some people, which can turn other people off, but wait with it, because don't go, please don't go. Just wait with it, because I will generalise it as well. And as it is a group reading, some of it might just resonate, and some of it you may just have to have that glazy-eyed look as I'm talking. But I want to try and put some more details into it if I can. Okay. When I was dealing this, I was thinking of a line from The Exorcist. And it's one of those lines that stick with you. And it... yeah, wait with me on this one. It's something to do when the priest is in the room and that the girl thing on the bed is saying something, is trying to almost grab the other one's or manipulate the other one's emotions, and it's saying whatever it is, it's imitating his mother and saying, why did you leave me? Because she's in your people's home. This has got nothing to do with that whatsoever. But there's a feeling here, why are you so mean to me, was what came to my mind. But it was the voice that was using The Exorcist, which has got nothing to do with it. But I'm just being totally honest what's going through my head. His name's like Dimmy. Hey, Dimmy. Something like that. Something like that. And that's what I'm thinking. All I can hear is, why are you so mean to me? That's what this power feels like. So what does this person need from you? It feels like to relax and not be so defensive on my first thoughts. Now I'm going to tell you where I'm going, and I'm going to tell you that I'm not losing it, but I'm not so sure myself here. Well, let me switch my light on for you. It's just like a conversation with a weird friend and wishing you could get away. Okay. You've got the 7 of water here and the new moon for them. So to me, this is all slippery. It's all sweet. It's all kind. It's like Venus and Neptune. It's like why is it so dark over there? The sun's come through the window. It's like Venus and Neptune. You know when you fall in love and it's all dreamy and not everything's concrete. You've almost imagined 75% of it, but you don't care because you're in it and you love it. And life's tough, and then you get these moments in your life, and this is your person. When they find somebody that they can dream about, and somebody that makes life that little bit more softer and sweeter and easier to live. So I'm guessing that's where your person's coming from. You're coming across in a very similar energy with the full moon here, but you've got the 5 of earth by you, and this is the lady here. Your person's still playing with the water, still playing with the emotions. You've come across here as if you've been a bit battered by it. Oh, it's up here, isn't it? Excuse me today. There's nothing actually very wrong with me. It's just me. The 5 of earth is this lady dressed in this muslin walking through a town. She's like left out of the situation, or feels like, to me, it feels like you've taken yourself out of the situation in some way, and it feels like you're too afraid to get hurt from the other cards that I took in as I was peeling down. And you've got the full moon here, so to me it feels like your emotions are invested, but you're too afraid of getting burnt or feeling vulnerable, you know, as everybody does. Your person doesn't feel the same. Your person's like, this is like a new beginning, and where should I put my best effort in, and then you almost like take the decision away from them with these cards here. Because to me, my first thoughts would be with this Five of Earth, a feeling of vulnerability and maybe low self-esteem, possibly. What's going on between the pair of you? You've got the Two of Wands and the Three of Cups. So this is like a group situation, I guess, or a situation where on the surface everything's lovely. You're possibly in groups, going out, having drinks, very sociable, or it's got a surface feeling of camaraderie. But the Two of Wands almost makes me think that after you've been together, that you both go home in different directions. With this water here, the Two of Wands, and this lady's sat here thinking, and water is fantastic for looking back and overthinking and wondering, and most of the time with water it can be worrying too. So both of you worry about what you've said, or whether you've said the right thing or the wrong thing, or did you upset them, or do they think that you fancy them, or vice versa. That type of situation, which is opposite from what I would guess is a fiery relationship where you go and you do it and you don't think you go home. This has got a sensitivity behind it that may actually, in your case, be a little bit self-defeating. And what are they after from you is, this is like a water, fire feeling to it, because if they're after the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords, which I know is air, there's a feeling here they just want clarity. They want you to be a little bit more straight up, a little bit more look in the eye and say you're attracted to them. You know, I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying do that. Not right in the middle of a conversation while you're in work talking about spreadsheets, but just to be straight with them. And if they ask you, are they attracted, you say, yeah, of course. That type of feeling, because this to me has got emotions being swirled around and you're too afraid for any of them to bubble to the surface in case it's too intense, it's too much. And this person feels like they've got quite a playful nature, it feels like Pisces, quite easygoing. You're the type of person, when you look at them, they smile, and then you look at them and you want to smile, and a smile comes out, but there's also like that jittery feeling that you've got to move out the situation before you reveal too much as well. And you've got the Two of Wands here again. So to me, I think that the relationship has probably started off on what I say a good note. You may have overthought it with these cards here, and then retracted because it feels as if it's almost running a little bit too fast with this Knight of Swords coming in so quick. And the Knights of Movement and the Ace of Swords to me is almost like a verbal declaration. And this is what they want from you. They like the fast movement. They like the feeling that there's attraction there. But with these cards here, I'm wondering whether they're wondering where it's gone. You know, these cards here are like, what do I do next? Do I juggle that one or that one or that one? Which card do I play from them? And you're like, oh my gosh. And I wonder whether with the Five of Earth here, whether you wonder this person may be out of your league in some way. And I know you're laughing saying, oh my gosh, no, it's the other way around. But there's a feeling here that it feels like a sweet attachment where you've put too much into it and almost put that person onto a pedestal in some way. And what they want is more communication, open, clear, in their face, talking to them, and being really straight. I'm not saying the conversation between you will ever be straight with these moons here. It will always be like somebody thinks they've listened to what they've said and goes on a totally different track, but neither of you will care. Because you just have smiles on your face and you'll be happy and you'll be exchanging energy. But the Knight of Swords to me is, they want movement. They want movement. They want it to be straightforward. And that's why I'm thinking like Pisces, Aries, because they come across all smiley and sweet, but they actually like a bit of action to go with that. And it feels like it started, but with your energy here, it feels like it's been pulled back. And that's maybe what they're getting. Now, deep underneath all of this, what they really want is clarity to do with emotions, because you've got the Six of Cups here and the Two of Cups here. And this is what this person really wishes they were going to get, and it's delivered in this way. So the Six of Cups is a connection where this feels really sweet. It feels like, okay, shut your eyes, it's time for story time. Just imagine that you've been together in other lifetimes. Just imagine if that was true. Or just imagine that you were together before you came down to earth, and then this person comes down, and to me is a bit hubba hubba. Yeah, is a bit hubba hubba, and you may be always questioning, you know, whether you're going to fit in or whether this is going to happen. Then all this person wants is the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups from you, and they want to hear you or to feel it and it to be clear. And what they're looking for is a sweet emotional connection. Somebody who can meet them on, you know, and I said about the pedestal earlier with the Two of Cups on an even keel. Not somebody who feels like they're shut out of the relationship. So this person to me is asking for an emotional connection with confidence. And that's where the Aries, Pisces feel comes in, where Aries wants somebody who can stand up, and even if they fall down, they don't care. They'd rather somebody make a fool of themselves and somebody be strong than somebody who slithers around, doesn't have the guts to do it. I'm sure that is true. I'm not saying this myself, of course. That's what it feels like here. Because the Six of Cups is a sweet connection. It's like two kids exchanging energy. So there's a feeling there of that Pisces-Venus feel of love that's almost unreal and surreal, and you can hardly hold it. It feels like eating a flake. You know, when you eat a flake and the bits all dribble off and you think, did I eat it or not? Where was it? And with the Two of Cups here, to me, makes me think with these cards here, they want it delivered with strength. They want a connection where you are kind to each other and sweet to each other. This is somebody, when you next see this person, smile and hold that gaze. Because your person feels like a winker. They do. It's just that energy of somebody who winks and wants life to be good, but is quite vulnerable on the outside, where I think you're more vulnerable on the inside. And you may, with these cards down here, put a little bit of a hard defence up. And this is confidence in yourself to be able to express a connection or express your emotion in some way that you don't really mind which way it goes. And that's the way you've got to come across. Because the Ten of Wands here, that's two feelings. It's like feelings of putting the effort in. It makes me feel a bit like the Eight of Pentacles here between these sweet cards. Because the Ten of Wands is a heavy card, but between these is quite sweet. Or it might be a feeling of, because of your card here, what they really want is for you to not feel like you're carrying the can all the time. You know, you've got this energy in this reading. I'm not saying this is your energy in life in general, but sometimes different situations bring out different parts of ourselves. And this has got the energy of somebody that feels like they need to put more effort in. They need to be this, they need to be that. And your person has got the energy of let it flow. You know, and I don't know how far that goes here with the Ten of Wands, because that's quite a tough card with the Five of Earth. It could be sort of like a body dysmorphic type of spread where you never feel that you look good enough, or you never feel that you will be good. I mean, it doesn't matter who the person is, but, and this can have a lot to do with probably our relationships with our parents when we were younger. So that's a feeling I'm getting there. It feels as if you feel slightly vulnerable, but in a way that your person can identify with it because of their subtleties and their kindness. And what they want from you is for you to stop caring about what anybody thinks or what happened in the past. It's like, just be. This is a just be pile. This is like, do something with me. Give me some action, you know, speak to me, talk to me, because we connect and I can feel it. And don't feel so sort of as if everything, you're holding the can for everything, every life situation you've been through. And your advice here with the Chariot and the Tower card is to, this is will, and that is to, even if it feels like, okay, all right, you know those sort of therapies that you get when you're scared of spiders and they put you in a room of spiders? This feels like that. It feels like there was a program on TV about a guy, a really sweet guy who had social anxiety, I think. It was on ages ago. And so this TV company followed him through, basically slowly drip feeding into situations that were uncomfortable where he was in the public eye. And I think, to me, I'm guessing this, it wasn't this, but in my mind it was like working Marks and Spencer's. It's that sort of image where he's, working with people, and then perhaps he does a little speech in front of a group, and then he ends up basically running the department and doing speeches and conferences, because they drip fed or they pushed him into situations that made him feel threatened. So your advice is to, if you do feel like you're on the outside of this situation, is to put yourself into scenarios that feel quite painful, but just a tiny bit outside of what you can cope with. And then it grows and it grows, because this is pulling two different parts of yourself together. And to me, you've got a feeling of somebody with these cards here who's quite actually action orientated. You've got quite strong self-will with these cards here. But I think sometimes it takes it asks us to show a real strength in vulnerability at times. And there was a quote last night that I saw, something about females being receptive and vulnerable. It's one of those ones that you can click onto, but I didn't. But that has got something to do with this, because these are sort of like feminine feelings coming from both of you. And this person seems, with the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, what they really deep down want from you is vulnerability. And that is the ability to not always, is to acknowledge that we all have issues. Everybody's got them. Everybody's got them. And with the Five of Earth there, and somebody said something the other day about confidence, and I'm thinking about confidence, and I don't actually think there is something as confidence, because confidence is not something that you have and you hold. It's there in particular environments and not in others. And sometimes it can be up and sometimes it can be down, depending on what happened last. So that's not confidence, is it? It is, but it isn't. If it's so easy to go up and down, it's almost like a little fix, isn't it, that you get, and you think, yeah, hey, and then it goes. So that's not confidence should be there all the time, which, no, it shouldn't, but I'm just trying to, in my mind, wonder what they want from you with regards to emotions. They want you to move forward to them, and they want you to be vulnerable. They want you to be able to take on, with the Ten of Wands there, a little bit of that uncomfortable feeling, because they admire people with strong will. People that can rise above those bits that everybody's got, even the sexy people. Even the sexy people have this. But a lot of the time they get themselves, I'm not talking about sexy people, but people who get themselves into, by their own will probably, good situations, is because they put themselves on the line. But when you feel like the Five of Earth, you can't perceive anything outside yourselves, because we all become a little bit closed in our own reality, and we know where we think we are, and we forget to think that sexy people, confident people who are only slightly confident at times, I'm sure, often feel like that as well, but they don't let it be them. So your advice here is to, with regards to your person, is to full steam ahead, put yourself outside your comfort zone in ways that you can manage, but it's almost like layering up to being something else, because your person admires the people that recognize their vulnerabilities but don't let them rule them. So what do they need from you? Your person enjoys your company. Your person finds you attractive. Your person probably is very attractive themselves here. Your person likes people with who they can have emotional connections. You can feel this emotional connection. It feels strong and it feels sweet. Your person wants to know that you recognize that too, in a very confident, all-encompassing, forward-moving, fantastically doodle way. To put yourself on the line. It feels like gutsy emotions, this is what they're asking. It's for gutsy emotions, and to me at the moment you feel as if that could hurt, so I'm going down here for your advice, and that is almost let it hurt a little bit. Don't put yourself too much in the line that you can't cope with it, but slightly be uncomfortable, because that's where your confidence will come from. So what they need from you, to sum up just before I go, is strength, connection, honesty, forward movement, bravery, and a slight uncomfortableness from you, because it feels like somebody would recognize that, because with this sort of Aries Pisces feel, they probably aren't Aries Pisces, but they may be. It's somebody who, regardless of their vulnerability, can put themselves on the line at times because of those opposing energy inside them. One wants to push, one wants to be aggressive, and the other one screams when they do it because they're so sensitive, and they're looking for that. And this could be somebody, if it's like masculine energy, it may be their moon or their Venus could be, could reflect you in some way, but that's part of them as well, which I think is every relationship, isn't it? We look for people who are us. We don't play it out, so we find it in other people. Okay, so I'm going to finish there, pile number 1. I hope that makes, I'm not allowed to say I hope that makes sense. There you go. Good luck, goodbye. Okay, pile number 2. My thoughts before I go through each pile, to me feels like an affair pile, to be honest. I will tell you why in a minute, but there feels like there's something here going on that is which one is this one? The situation, okay, doesn't have to be an affair pile, but very likely could be. There's a feeling here of somebody, possibly, if it's not that, pretending to be something they're not. And I think it's you. Ooh, I don't know. Let me go through them and see, and I will let you peel through this with me. So what do they need from you? Your person's coming across the same. This is very similar to pile number 1. The same card came out on the same side, the 7 of water, and you've got here the Chiron feel. So this to me is somebody, the feelings are somebody who's quite wise. Somebody who has what I would say an unusual perspective on life. A kind feeling, but somebody who can read others in a very sensitive sort of psychic way. To me, it feels like here, because this is water and Chiron. To me, and I don't even know where I've got this from. I don't know whether it's observing people and running off and looking at charts is probably what I do most of my life. It feels like they're very perceptive. They're almost like a psychic feel, not so much like a watery feel, but it's a case of they pick up what's in front of them. It's difficult to explain. Like somebody that can read your face, or somebody that can read the way that you put your hair, and you're this type of person, or the shoes that you choose, that type of thing, possibly. I don't know, probably a combination of both. But your person is very perceptive. They understand the situation. You're coming across as the sun, but the 3 of fire next to it. So there's a feeling here of, you come across confident. There's something very magnetic about you with the sun there. And this person is probably more receptive. You seem to be the strong one in the relationship with regards to attraction, as this person's pulled towards you. But the 3 of fire makes me think that you've I'm not going to say nip something in the bud, that the relationship has started and you both know it's rolling, but what you're more wondering what's going to happen next. Your person's just almost still in a state of steady reading. You're in a state of, right, okay, I'm bored now, what's next? Give some more to me. What you're going to show, what you're going to do about this. Now, the real situation between the pairs is 7 of wands and the 4 of wands. So I'm thinking this is like sneaky peeky blinders. And with the 4 of wands here, it's like, so I'm thinking, because there's a couple in here in a house. So is one of you already in a relationship? Because this is stability, and this is wanting to somehow, is the word usurp? I once got laughed at for saying that word, so I've never used it again. Well, not much there. The situation. And then you've got Kay Guevara here, who's a bit mentally sassy, I think, with this card here. I don't know if that is him, but it certainly looks like it to me. And that to me is like rebellious energy with the 9 of swords here. It's mental rebellious energy because it's a sword card here. So what's going on in the situation? To me, it feels like you shine, this person is drawn towards you. It feels like there's something very warm or open or very mesmerizing about you, and your person's very good at reading people, and there's like, you may be very, just have got, I'm going to say, a good heart with the Sun card there. But you're also quite impatient, like, okay, what's next? Your person's, once again, why is this a sexy card? I don't know. I think it's just me and my age. There's a feeling here of that somebody who's attractive watching you and you like it, but there's got to be some, because you have this card over here as well, which caught my eye, and both of those are different cards. That's the 7 and this is the 6, but to me it's still sneaky because there's something being stolen. So I'm wondering whether, you know, there's this person's, one of you already in a relationship and you're trying to somehow manipulate the situation to work. I don't know, because I don't know if that's going to, you know, feel right for men, for everybody, anybody. What they're getting from you at the moment is okay, for somebody who's coming across as the Sun and the 3 of Fire, why are you coming across with sneaky energy all around, as almost like slithering in on your tummy? The High Priestess here is not revealing the energy that you really are. Okay, so there's different scenarios, everyday scenarios. Your person may see you being confident with friends or family or in a work situation. I don't know the situation. They know that you're quite confident in yourself. You probably got a loud voice, or you probably dress in a way that's quite, you know, just all together, whether it's loud colours or whether it's just the way you put your clothes together, has a sense of style or a sense of confidence. Can't think of a different word there. You're somebody who likes to get life moving, but you possibly have sensed that you may actually be delving into a bag of worms with this person, and I'm wondering whether this has got to do with a situation that's quite secure, whether it's I don't know, with a 4 of Wands could be a work situation, it could be a relationship here. So you're keeping things close to your chest here, because the High Priestess is secretive, and then you've got the 9 of Wands here, which is quite okay. I've been in this situation before, even with the 9 of Wands here, because there's the man with the bandage on his head, but it's also slightly defensive. It's like, okay, I'm not going to enter that. You're feeling like I'm not going to go into this relationship, and that's what they're getting from you. What do they actually want from you? Ace of Cups initially. The Ace of Cups is, and don't we all want this? It's like a declaration of love. They know that you, with the Sun and the 3 of Fire here, they know that you are a different person than they actually get to see. I wonder whether you're quieter around this person than you are with other people. And the Ace of Wands is they want you to be the same with them as they know that you are with others. This is a really strange feeling. And to me it feels like, no, I won't go there. Okay, let me just keep going. With the 6 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, what do they actually want from you? These cards here are tough work. It's movement and travel and tough work and putting the effort in. So, but that is with recognizing that you recognizing and being open with your attraction to them. So what does that mean? Because this, to me, to get from this away from this, it would take a journey anyway. And that's probably why initially when I looked at the cards, I said like an affair or having to change a lifestyle situation for you two to be together in some way, because that's stability. And you've got cards of you know, running and taking and Gretna Green and moving house and clandestine snogging on steps. I don't know, but that's what it's got a feeling of here. So this is quite a complicated pile, because you're open but not with them. They can read you, but they know that between the pair of you there's something being hidden, and it's all mental. And then what do they want? They want you to declare things but be able to follow it through. And your advice over here is to speak your truth and end something. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. No, I'm not. I'm gonna shut my eyes and I'm going to try and sum up now with the title. What do they need from you? Your person can read you. They're attracted to you because they can read your inner energy. They can feel that you are, even if you're introverted, you've got a warmth and you've got a strength inside yourself. You don't have to have the sun there to be loud or to be totally expansive. The sun has a sense of dignity and self-esteem inside it. So that's what they're seeing inside you. The Three of Fire to me makes me think that you're ready to move yourself here. The Four of Wands here in the centre, what they're actually getting, to me feels like you're both in a stable situation. Don't know whether to interpret that as in like something around you that you're quite happy with and content with, and you know it's formed in your life. So that doesn't have to be an affair, but it could be something that feels like you're not ready for change. But this person can sense, I guess as well, if they've got this energy here, that, I don't know, there's lots of sword cards in this, and what they're actually getting to me is a lot of thoughts and wanting more from you here. But with the Seven of Swords here is it takes you to somehow lower the sun morals to get to it. You know, so the Sun card has got extremely strong morals, and as I said earlier, it's quite a dignified card of somebody that doesn't tell porcupines or doesn't go behind people's backs, and this relationship may cause you to have to do that. So they're picking up that. That's what's actually between the pair of you. There's lots of thinking about this, there's lots of thoughts, there's a recognition of it. You're almost like ready to jump the gun and do something anyway, but what they're actually, how you're coming across is almost, they don't get the real you, they get the quiet you that's still in the thinking mode and wondering whether it's one-sided, maybe, I don't know. Okay, what they want from you is for you to open up and express yourself emotionally to them, but also to go through some sort of like, you know, when you get the red arrows and they go through, I don't know what I'm talking about here, and they go through a certain speed and there's like a boom. They want that boom moment where you are not afraid to pass the ring. What is it? Go past the, what is it? Ring past me not. Go through the ring past me not. What is that? I don't know. They want you to, they don't think you're going to, but they want you to. Drop your boundaries in some way. There's something about you in this spread where hold on, I'm going to switch off because this feels like a long one and I'll lose the video. I am back. Sometimes I lose the video if it goes on too long. There's something about this spread where your person can read you and knows you've got strong morals, and there's something here where they feel that you're not going to be the first person to make a move because your morals are so strong and something doesn't quite sit right with you. They understand this totally. They like it, but they still want you to go through the ring past me not, which is these two cards here, because these require work. This is a journey and this is pushing hard, and they want you to express your emotions and you're not doing it. What they're actually getting is you retracting that energy that you normally have with other people and giving them the, not cold shoulder, but not the bird, just something less than you normally give other people, something quieter, something more subtle, something more trying to match their Chiron energy of reading the situation. And advice here is clarity and to stop it. Just stop it. Okay, right, okay, I'm going to pull back. I've seen enough of the cards now to get a feeling of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what they need from you. It may not be what you want to give though, but I'm going to tell you because that's the answer, the question on the thumbnail, hopefully. What they need from you is facing up to the situation, ending the feeling of lack of clarity in the situation, expressing your emotions. What they want from you is for you to work hard to get close to them, for the relationship to move a bit further. What they need from you is probably just facing the scenario or the situation or even a problem between the pair of you head on, because there feels like somebody who's getting fed up of trying to read between the lines. Fed up's the wrong word. It feels like somebody who's stuck in reading you between the lines, and that's not you anyway. So they're wondering, when are they going to get the real you? But there's more to this one. This feels like even when you declare, or even when you're more open with them, there's still a journey to be had after that, which is these cards here. So this is a complicated path, so I don't know if it feels right. I can give a scenario. Okay. Let's just say, let's have a magic story. Let's just say that two people know each other, friends of the, perhaps it's like your partner's best friend, your husband or your wife's best friend, and the attraction between you is easy to read and it's palpable in some way, that when you're together you can feel it, you can sense it. Your person realizes that if things were out in the open, it could be a big issue, but they also know that what they've actually got from you since the relationship or the connection has started or the attraction has started, they're getting less of you than anybody else gets of you, because you've withdrawn slightly yourself, because it doesn't feel like the right thing to do. It doesn't feel like the moral thing to do, possibly. And what they actually want from you, no, I'm not going to go there. What they need from you is for you to let them know that you feel the same, that you're attracted to them, and you know that you can both read the situation. What they need from you is to be able to discuss a possibility of, or a probability, or something to do with moving and it being hard work. Even if it's a case of, and this is a specific example, let's just say that you were, it was that situation, and you even had the discussion that you wouldn't want to go that because moving out of your marriage or your work situation or abroad is going to be too much drama for you. That's what I think they want. But I wouldn't advise that myself, but go on this journey with them, and they're asking you somehow to almost lower your moral spirit level. It doesn't feel this person wants to hurt you, they just want more of you, and they don't know how to do it, and they want you to clarify it. Is probably the best way to say that, because what your advice is the Page of Swords, so that is like clarifying it, and this is stopping it. So you could be stopping this energy here of if you've pulled back from them and you're not actually being your true self. So that could be it. So that is probably, I'm really wary of giving advice when it comes to big advice, that advice that can hurt. So I'm not going to give that. I'm going to retract that from you all. I would edit it, but I can't. Because your person wants you to me, it feels like somebody's really attracted to you and can't have you. And what they want to do is they want to be with you. So they want you to move on this energy and put the effort in to be with them. But I'm not going to advise that for anybody, because that's too big a move, I think, here. What I think the best thing is to clarify with the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords your feelings to them, and almost probably this ending is not the scenario where you're trying to get out of the Four of Wands here and move into a situation that, move away from a situation that's stable and somehow disrupts it here, because you haven't got any Tower cards here, but it's to end up this secretive sort of energy that you're in and not expressing yourself to them. because they can read it. So I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. What they need from you is for you to get back to your old self. They want you to be expressive. They want you to be open. They want you to be clear about your feelings and to not hide it so much. But unless you want that energy, this moving energy and this hardworking energy to move away from the 4 of Wands, which is that stability in a family situation here, which I would not advise. I'm going to repeat that again because I always think, that's dodgy ground to me, and I wouldn't advise that, and I don't think I ever have. No, I haven't. I would take that as in moving away from this energy down here, which is defensive and secretive, and getting back to that and expressing yourself. And whatever happens afterwards, let that open up slowly. Definitely let that open up slowly. Your person can read the situation. They're very clever. There's too much water, there's too much Chiron. You're too expressive, not too expressive, but you're very open and generally, and that's lovely energy to have. They just want to see more of you. Okay, right, pile number 2, I'm going to leave that there. And before I go, I'm just going to say it again because I will worry otherwise. Don't do anything silly, because I don't want to be the person that encourages that, just in case this feels right and you are one, because that can be taken either way, and that to me feels as if it goes under here. And that ending thing that you could put here would be too dangerous, so I would definitely wouldn't go down that. I would put it here. All right, okay. Right, pile number 2, I wish you well and thank you very much for watching. Bye. Okay, right. This has got. I'm going to go with my initial impressions to start with, and it may change as I go through. But as I'm dealing, you tend to get a feeling, don't you, when you deal cards? And this to me feels like 2 wild cards, and you and them. There could be distance with regards to living in different places as well here, because you've got the Uranus and the 6 of Air for them, and that feels like journeys. But it feels like Uranus is a strong planet. Last night we started watching Hitler's Sex Life or something like that. It was something to do, I think it's like top of Netflix at the moment, Hitler's Sex Life. And I'm watching, and they're talking about him in school and saying that he had incredible self-will and he was very selfish and very sort of aggressive when he didn't get something he wanted, almost like a petulant child. And then you're seeing him, talking about him being spoon-fed, actually syringe-fed, all these like different drugs as he carried on, and how he's quite fevered when he's doing his speeches, which he is, which he probably was even before the drugs, to be honest. But it got like a sweaty mess towards the end, and how he was making decisions with lots of people's lives. And he was probably drugged up most of the time, which is horrendous. Anyway, back to the Uranus bit here, and I'm thinking those people that have Uranus strong in their chart, and I think it was on his ascendant, and I'm thinking the guy from Nirvana, it's on his ascendant, and I'm thinking Che Guevara, which is probably one of these cards looked a bit like him, and why I keep saying him as well, I had it on the ascendant, and that's volatile, but it can be, depends on which way you use it, as in everybody's chart, it can be used for good or bad. It can just give you that extra edge that is almost like ahead of everybody else, and the audacity and the confidence and the not caring what anybody else thinks to do it. So you often get Uranus, my first thought them as engineers, but people who are ahead of the game in some way. Why do I think engineers? Because I bet it's strong in them. Ahead of the game in some way, because they're coming out with new ideas. And I'm thinking that because of Dyson, because my sister used to work for Dyson, and the way she used to explain people was quite Aquarius. People that worked there and the people that came out with these new inventions. So to me, I'm thinking your person is somebody who's maybe quite distant, maybe quite wild, maybe quite a very interesting character. And then you've got you coming over here with Mercury and the Sun of Fire is playful. That, to me, this is a connection where you're laughing together. And that's why I'm saying wild cards, because Mercury and the Sun of Fire here, this guy with his little water pistol, to me, it's like playful and silly and fun and wild and quipping. And your person loves it because it's similar energy. It feels like air. It feels like cold air. You two rushing together like cold air. And then I know it should be warm air with it, but it's like sparks flying when you're together. So what do they need from you is the question, isn't it? And looking down here, what's actually going on between the pair of you at the moment, it looks as if everything's fine. It looks as if something's missing, but it's okay. And you are both overthinking this. But with this energy here and the Hermit down here, you probably both enjoy that. You're both finding meaning in the connection rather than more questioning. It's just understanding here with the Hermit card. And this energy here and your energy, to some extent, is very good at manipulating mental perceptions of life circumstances, and so they make sense to you and you understand it, and then somehow you integrate it into yourself and live your life. And in some way, it sounds quite cool, but you two could be like a tool to each other. Because this energy is cool, and so that's maybe how you both see the situation. So, okay, we know we've come together and this has helped me do this and this has helped me do that. So there's less emotion here and more understanding here. And that's what's going on between the pair of you. And this card here is like, hey, it's all okay. But this card in the middle is not. Okay, let me just, we're going to leave that for the moment because I can't get my head around that yet. 9 of Wands. To me, with the energy so far, my thoughts here are there may have been one particular or a couple of particular instances that have hurt, but because this energy is strong and it connects quite well and these cards are okay on either side, that one to me feels as if it could have been a couple of painful incidents that either you didn't enjoy or they didn't enjoy. And my first thoughts here are get-togethers where you're not really sure where you fit with this energy. You know, and you've sort of gone away and felt like, okay, we've got a connection. Oh my God, perhaps we didn't. You know, that type of feeling where you've met and you've not got the attention that you're expecting because you're both quite similar. And it feels like you both need to be stimulated here. Right, so... Okay, you've got this energy. This is why it feels quite nice, to be honest. You're both coming across quite cool, quite unusual in a nice way that is different from other people. And it's like you've almost like met your mate here. But you're coming across as strong. The connection here is the strength of the 10 of Cups. So what this person actually is getting from you, and this all goes together with the situation and what they actually feel they're getting from you, is that confirmation of who they are with the Strength card here, and that it's okay to act like that. Because these are like family members, not in a non-sexual way, but the strength of the 10 of Cups with the Strength card here has got a feeling here that you connect in a way that you could be yourselves, and even if it was a strong version of yourself, with these feelings up here, that it would be just fine. You know, you talk about, not with you in particular, but anybody, talk about soulmates and twin flames. I've never, or maybe I have once, but I can't remember because I think it was about 2 years ago, Googled what that actually means. And to me, I can't feel it, I don't know it, I don't understand it, and I don't want to, you know, run down other people's tracks of what they feel. But to me, there's lots of different feelings to it. Sometimes it can be connections that you can't actually get together so that you learn. You learn who you are, and that finding that love has a lot to do with you more than the other person. This one doesn't have that feeling. This one has probably a less painful feeling of this soulmate, whichever, you know, I honestly don't know about the words. It's like finding yourself, and there's such a strong feeling here that what am I thinking? Ivanisovich, even I can't remember his name. It's like that. Why am I thinking of him? Because he was a wild card. He was a wild card in Wimbledon and he won. That's what it feels like. It's a feeling here that you're both wild cards and you both win when you're together. because this is like strong self-expression. Now, what this person needs from you, this is what they're getting from you, I guess, in some form. What they need from you is... It feels as if they need something that is now gone down a journey where it needs to start turning a little bit more sexual. It's almost like flipping the connection on its belly, because this Uranus and your energy as well will only go so far with feeling mentally stimulated till it, and you know, it may be this feels like it needs to be, I'm not going to say it, what I was thinking then, it needs to turn into... So word stimulated got me. I'm not going to say, no, I'm not. Into more physical. It needs to turn more physical, and that's what that person needs from you. They think they need it from you. What do they need from you? What do they think they need from you? To me, feels like a physical connection. It feels as if it needs to move on to the next step where... This feels strongly sexual, to be honest, because you've got the Devil card here, you've got Pentacles card here, you've got the Mask card here. So that must be flipping and taking off. No, it's not a mask, but the end, because it doesn't feel like that. It feels the complete opposite. It feels to me like, you know, you're taking off one persona and then going into the next persona, which has got more to do with the Devil card here of... physically playful. There's still like a playful energy because you've got the Two of Pentacles here, but it feels like in this energy feels as if it could be quite strong. They want more from you physically, I guess, from this part here. They think that you are... The connection is there with regards to how they perceive you emotionally and vice versa. There's a strong connection between the pair of you because it feels like you're both very similar energy. But I wonder whether it's gone down a track so much that they're waiting for the next step now. Do you know what it feels like? It could almost feel like, you know, when you've got nervous energy and you're in a situation that, and I can relate to this for having my eyes looked at as a kid at 14, and I went to the what's his name? And the guy was lovely. He was like so close to my face with his whatever, looks like a syringe in my eye, and I couldn't stop laughing. And I was on my own, and I was 14, 15, obviously with this type of energy inside me at 14, 15, which I think we all do. You know, if you're thinking about Uranus, is it 7-year itch or something? It honestly felt like I was having this 7-year itch, and it all came out on that day. And the poor guy didn't know what to do with me, and the more he looked a bit upset about it, the funnier I found it. It feels like this energy is quite high, quite clear, quite funny, quite exciting. It feels like two people that laugh together. It's got an exciting feeling of doing stuff together, and there's a strong connection here, or they feel there's a strong connection, but they want the next step. And it's almost like you've got to decide to ground yourself now, because this is your advice when you've got the 7 of Cups and then you've got the 4 of Wands, and that's grounded and that's decisions. So I'm going from this energy here, which is turned into physical energy, playful still, but still physical. And it's like what they think they need from you, I'm sure nobody needs this, is they want a more intimate connection. This is nice. This is really nice. This is the type of energy that's exciting, and it feels like you could be 70 or 80, but it feels youthful and it feels alive, and it's like, when's the next step? And that's what they think they need, the next step from you. So when are you going to actually ground this? I was going to say, when are you going to kiss me? Because that came to my mind. And then I know this feels like more than a kiss with that face, but that could even be, you know, it could be taken on different levels, depends on where you are. So when are you going to stand still? When are you going to let me hold your hand, or you know, or hold you, or kiss you, or something very physical with you? You feel a bit of a will-o'-the-wisp, and you're enjoying the situation because it's stimulating you mentally, because these cards are all mental and these cards are quite reflective. So you could as well, or also if you've got like problems with settling down, your ADHD, that type of thing. You know, this is where this card could have come in. The more I read into this, you could have been upset in past relationships when people haven't understood your energy. So that this step may be a big step for you. It doesn't have to be just because you've got heightened energy. It could just be a feeling of, it could be anything. You could have gone from your usual self to possibly, being more intimate with somebody and they left. Like a one-night stand that you put more into it. So that could be anything there. But what they need from you, what they think they need from you, nobody needs this, is they want to be physically closer to you. This doesn't have to mean rabid sex down here. It could just be holding and touching and getting closer and kissing. Kissing. Now that type of sweet, normal, everyday activity, I'm sure, is what they want from you next. What they think they need from you. Okay, pile number 3, interesting pile to me, because some piles are interesting because you can almost feel a persona coming out of it. And I know they're cards and there's different people watching, but if 1 or 2 people think, well, that is me, and that helps, then I feel happy. That's what I know I would like. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much, pile number 3. Bye.